Welcome back, YouTubers, to the British Fist review of Destination X, the TNA X Division themed pay-per-view, one which I've been looking forward to for a long time. I don't know about you, NJ.
I have too.
Yeah, definitely. We are the British Fist, of course, ain't we?
Good shit.
Where the money's at, just like TNA have got tonight with this X Division pay-per-view. Make sure you guys subscribe up above, of course, like this video, put your comments on the Destination X 2011 down below.
And be sure to contact us in the link in the description box below.
Yes, indeed. Now, whoa, this was a good night, wasn't it? We had the return of six sides. I know you're more of a fan of the more traditional four-sided ring, but what did you think to the six-sided ring in terms of the X Division action tonight?
Well, throughout the night, all wrestlers made great use of the six-sided ring.
Yep.
It definitely made the matches more interesting for what I saw.
And it definitely suited the X Division style as well, didn't it? If you've noticed throughout the matches, kind of like they did in the old 2005 sort of times in TNA.
That's true.
Yep. And also we had Jeremy Borash from commentary. You know, wow, this is like a revisit to the old times when Borash used to be on... Well, I don't think he was on commentary, but it's just good to see Borash on commentary. I love Jeremy Borash, but anyway. Let's get straight into this pay-per-view. NJ, unless you have anything else you want to add to this opening bit.
All I'd say is that it should be a good pay-per-view.
Yeah, definitely. I've been looking forward to reviewing this for a while now, because I just love X Division action in TNA. It's one of the reasons I started watching TNA, to be honest with you. We open up in this Destination X pay-per-view with Kazarian versus Samoa Joe. We had news before the pay-per-view this would be the opener, and I thought this is a pretty good opener. You've got two very accomplished wrestlers going out in the opener that can put on a very fast-paced match, a very good match, and I think it achieved a very good opener, in my opinion.
I was more Kazarian could put on a fast-paced match, but Samoa Joe not as much, which I kind of think was the downfall to this, but again, the match was a good opener.
Yep, the match went on for 16 minutes. I'm surprised they got that much time, but again, at the same time, I'm not, because I know these two can put on a very good match, and given a lot of time, they can really work a crowd well, and they can really, you know, use crowd psychology quite well as well. So,
as much as I'm glad it was a good 60-minute match, the result...
Yes.
Yeah,
Kazarian, I don't mind Kazarian winning. It's just that at the moment, Samoa Joe is on a bit of a losing streak, and I did feel they would kind of use Samoa Joe, seeing as he's in this Bound for Glory series, and Kazarian hasn't really been featured prominently on TV that much lately. I just thought they'd give Samoa Joe the win. It kind of surprised me they give Kazarian the win. The match itself was very good, but the result I didn't like that much, to be honest.
Same here, I just thought, as much as I'm not a Samoa Joe fan, I think he should have won that.
Yes, definitely. I think these two put on a great match. Right, so after that, we get an open challenge match. We get to see the Brits, a British section. We were very much looking forward to rubbing our hands at this one and sipping our teas as well. No tea time segments here, though. We have the Douglas Williams Open Challenge, and the first thing he says is, Magnus, Rob Terry, fuck off, basically. And we see that the person answering the challenge is a guy called Mark Haskins, who is part of the Premier British Wrestling, and he's a Brit as well. So we got an all-British match. What more could we ask for, NJ?
It was very good. It was good for the British, but again, this is one of the matches of the night that I personally, as much as they're British, I don't really care about.
Well, to be Douglas Williams, I don't understand why they considered him an X Division guy. Because of the way he wrestles, he's more of a ground and pound guy, and I'm all for mixing it up in the X Division, but I don't really see why he's an X Division guy. I like the fact they had him up against sort of like a high flyer guy, a guy that hasn't really got much time on TV, especially in, promotions like TNA. So for me, it was a very good match. It was a good showcase of a guy that could have a good future in the wrestling business, in my opinion, which is Mark Haskins, or Mark Haskins, or whatever his name was.
Even though he sent his other two partners away, he still won the match, which I thought was good for him.
Yeah, I think Douglas Williams had to win this match just because he's the TNA talent, and to have a guy like Mark Haskins come and beat him would have been a bit embarrassing, maybe a bit bad on the company's image itself.
But before the match, they did explain that he's more of a TNA person, and he's against someone that is hardly around. Yeah,
in the Premier British Wrestling.
Yeah, so it would have been kind of unfair or unwrong.
So in the Battle of the Brits, Doug Williams wins. To be honest, I don't know about you, but out of British Invasion, do you prefer Doug Williams or Magnus?
Magnus.
Same here. I prefer Magnus as well. I'd like to see him in this match, but oh well, we didn't get that. Overall, an okay match. It did what it was supposed to do, I guess. It was an open challenge, but not the best of matches of the night, to be honest. And following that, Generation Me versus Eric Young and Shark Boy. Now, Generation Me, I knew that they weren't booked for this pay-per-view, but I really wanted to see them in this pay-per-view just because they're an X Division style tag team. But why did you put them against Eric Young and Shark Boy? And why did you make them win?
There was that segment backstage when Eric Young was trying to find a tag team partner. I don't know why anyone picked to be with him.
I don't know.
He should have just gone on his own.
I just think if you have a great X Division, if your focus is on X Division, if you have a great X Division tag team like Generation Me, the young, the young Bucks, Max and Jeremy Buck, why do you have them job to Eric Young and Shark Boy? You know, it was an okay match. We needed a tag team match in there, but I don't think they really showcased the right people to win this match.
It was slow start, so I found it kind of hard to get into because they kept doing stupid messing about before the match.
What, the tagging each other in and getting in? I don't know.
And I was just like,
get on with it.
And then the match itself, again, I think this is the opener, because of my dislike for Eric Young, I just did not like this match.
Like you just said, in the words of Monty Python, get on with it! That one was for you Americans out there that know Monty Python. It was an okay tag team match. I just don't see why the Generation Me had to win this. Because Generation Me are a tag team that I rather like, and I'd love to win. I'd love to have been this match. One thing I would have said, this is a suggestion for TNA here in regards to this pay-per-view. Forget this match. Make the Ultimate X match, which is next, 10 minutes longer in place of this match, and take Robbie E out of that and put the fucking Generation Me brothers in there, because it would have made a great match. And that's the match we're going on to next, really.
That's true, yeah. Because I think this match was a done for me.
Yes, the tag team really didn't do its job, I don't think. But it was just another added match to fill time, I guess.
Time that they should have used elsewhere, like you said.
Next, we have the Ultimate X match, #1 contender for the TNA X Division Championship. I liked where this... I don't know, I'm a bit confused. This was 4th on the card. I would have liked it to have been higher, but at the same time, I think it did well because it was getting to that kind of stage of the pay-per-view where the undercard was kind of coming to the end. They really needed to get into that main event segment, so it really did well to hype the crowd up, in my opinion. Ultimate X matches are always very good. The only trouble is this match had no fucking hype. We had a video package on the Impact before the pay-per-view. That's one thing that really let this down, in my opinion.
One thing that let me down, maybe because I'm still new to this, but the rest that was in this match, I honestly didn't really care about. Majority of them I didn't really care about.
Robbie E, I hate Robbie E.
Shannon Moore I didn't like. So it's really Alex Shelley that I was really looking for in this match. And
like I said before, this match, if you're going to make an Ultimate X match and you want a #1 contendership to your TNA X Division Championship, I think you should make this last a bit longer than 12.5 minutes. I really do. I think you could really draw it out. And again, if you introduce Generation Me in there instead of Robbie E because he fucking sucks, you could have really made a good match here, and you could have made it go at least 20 minutes. If you're going to put emphasis on the X Division, make the #1 contendership match last a long time. In my opinion, especially in Ultimate X matches, which is always a crowd-pleasing match, isn't it? The Ultimate X match.
I find this match to be interesting. I've seen past events, and this was always an entertaining match to look out for.
Yes, of course, Alex Shelley won. I think out of all the 4 people there, Alex Shelley had to win this, just because he's the most accomplished X Division guy. It'll be interesting to see what they're going to do with him in the future with regards to the X Division Championship. Now he doesn't have his tag team partner Chris Sabin around.
I think, to be honest, they picked the right winner, so I have no problem with this match. I think Alex Shelley is going to go on and do good things.
Definitely. The ending was a bit weird, though, wasn't it? We kind of had Shannon Moore go up to the top. That was quite exciting, but then it didn't really result in too much, did it? It kind of could have achieved the same if they just went up the ropes.
Yeah, I found that kind of bad, but again, the right person won. He won it in a pretty much a simple way.
Simple way.
Yeah, that's all that was needed for this match.
So good match. Right guy won. #1 contendership match. Very good, I think, in my opinion. Ultimate X is always very good. The next match we got was a rivalry, a match which you should have got last year at Hardcore Justice, but as we all know, Hardcore Justice sucked. So it's a good job it was on this pay-per-view because it was a lot better. And that was Rob Van Dam versus Jerry Lynn in apparently a no disqualification match. I wasn't aware it was made a no disqualification match, but it kind of added into how they were going to finish it. So I guess that kind of worked in the end. What did you think of this match, MJ?
Again, as you've heard in other TNA videos, I'm not really a fan of Jerry Lynn. I think he's at the time when, yes, he was right with putting people over, but I still think he should retire. But the match itself, it was good moving. He actually did impress me. He actually did put on a good fight with Rob Van Dam.
He impressed me in the TNA Impact before, in the Go Home show with what he did, and he definitely impressed me in this match as well. Of course, we all knew Rob Van Dam was going to win this as he is the TNA talent, and they're not going to put the win on Jerry Lynn as he's not really got too much of a future. It was just a comeback match. It was just good to see these two finally have their match that they should have had last year, and for me it was a very good match. It went on for 20 minutes, so we got plenty of time. They can't complain about time here, and Rob Van Dam wins this with his signature 5-star frog splash. Rob Van Dam.
It's like I said, Rob Van Dam deserved the win because Jerry Lynn is, in my opinion, almost had it now, and he's now Rob Van Dam to put over.
Yeah, definitely. It was good. It was just a good way of introducing them into the pay-per-view, and you got a good match out of it. So we can't complain about this. It was a very good match, and it was on the right place on the card, in my opinion. Just before the next match, which was the 4-way X Division Showcase tournament final for a TNA contract between Austin Aries, Jack Evans, Loki, and Zema Ion. And the great thing about this is not only did every competitor get an interview, but we had hype. Every wrestler got a chance, to showcase their talents on Impact. It was great way. It was a great way to lead into this match, and the match really delivered, in my opinion.
The thing I'll say is that yes, you get to see him having that interview backstage, which I liked, because they all had their say towards the match. Yeah, some of them did suck. Some of them, I think they're rubbish on mic, so I'm kind of glad they didn't win this match.
Well, it's kind of good that they can show it in their wrestling skills instead, then, isn't it?
Pretty much. But I don't think if they're not good on mic, then I don't think TNA is going to like them as much as.
And Austin Aries is very good on mic.
He is, yes.
Yes. I really like this match. You had so much action, so much involved in it, so many, you've got Jack Evans in there who can provide you with the flips. You've got Austin Aries there who's the perfect heel. Low Key is a great talent. Zema Ion, again, showed that he could be a great wrestler in this match. And you had the crowd chanting, sign them all, sign them. And why the fuck not? They put on a great match.
There's only just like previous matches, there's only 2 I was really watching out for in this match. It's signed them all. Yeah, the crowd might want them. I was watching out for Loki and Austin Aries.
Yes, and of course, Austin Aries wins the match. And to be honest, Austin Aries, he could play a great heel. He really did seem to have that sort of heel look about him in the match, and also after the match when he got interviewed.
And I quite like he pinned Loki to prove that he's the stronger one out of the 2. He's the one that is going to be higher talent and better to watch out for. I think this match epitomised the X Division for me.
I really enjoyed this showcase of X Division talent from around the world, seeing Austin Aries and Loki, and it had a lot of build to it, so I could look forward to it, and it had a lot of meaning to it because these guys are fighting for a TNA contract. So there's a lot of meaning to it. There's a lot of build. So you got the perfect match here, and I think it really delivered. And I really liked it. I enjoyed it.
The one thing I'm going to say about this match I liked was the length. The length went for a good amount of time for 4 wrestlers.
23.5 minutes. It really does give meaning to the match, and I can only praise TNA for that. It was a very good match, in my opinion. But we must move on, because next we have the epitome of the X Division. Abyss versus Brian Kendrick in an X Division Championship match. Yes, so that's your number 1 contender. Brian Kendrick to the Abyss. I don't know. This match had not much hype, and I didn't think the match itself was very good. However, what happened after the match kind of epitomised this pay-per-view in that the X Division guys came out and defeated Immortal, because before Immortal kind of took over the X Division. So in that way, it achieved something. It's just that the focus. I don't see why Brian Kendrick was number 1 contender.
There's loads of other wrestlers that I've been watching throughout TNA that could have been good to go against Abyss.
Kazarian.
I really can't picture Brian Kendrick holding the title.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't the best match, mainly because you got Abyss there and he's huge, and it's very difficult to work an X Division style match with him. I guess it kind of did its job. David, overcoming Goliath, and the X Division guys got one up on Immortal, so at least Immortal have been defeated. Thank you very much, TNA.
That's very true, but I think Abyss is there to, as Bishop was saying, finish TNA.
Yeah.
And as he didn't get his job done, the Immortals were yelling at him, saying how bad he did.
He needs some teeth.
Don't piss him off.
No, don't piss him off. He definitely needs some teeth. I still think this match suffered really from a lack of build. And, I'm glad this wasn't the main event. Thank God the next match was the main event. I think this was the right place to put it, just before the main event, because you need to focus something on the title, So, to me, I think it was a good championship. It was okay, I guess. It just really I don't know what it was. It just really sort of, between Brian Kendrick and Abyss, I'm sorry, but...
Again, I'm looking and thinking Brian Kendrick might not hold the title for long, but let's just see how it goes.
Go Alex Shelley. I'd really love to see him with the X Division Championship. Anyway, we'll go away from that match, because next we had the main event. The match which I was looking forward to the most, the second one being the 4-way match and the third one being the Ultimate X, because I always love those matches, between AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels. Now, I am so glad this was the main event. It got great build, and these two always put on a great match, so you knew you were going to get a great match, and they give a good match. I thought it was a good match. It was slow in places, but still a good match.
2 great friends battling it out to show who's the better one of the 2. And I think it could have gone either way. And I think the length definitely made the match more interesting, because it went for 30 minutes.
The same length as their 2 Iron Man matches they had, which were fucking fantastic as well.
So I'm kind of surprised that they could actually go on that long, because you could see by the end of the match they were worn out, but they put on a great fight.
They were really worn out, and I think they kind of lost a little bit of momentum. The crowd was with them for a long time, but then at the end they kind of lost the crowd a little bit, which in my opinion is a bit bad, because at the end you really want the crowd at their peak. But again, I can't complain about this match because you know these two have got great in-ring chemistry. You know they can put on a great match. So this is the perfect match to have as their main event. And it was their main draw. You know, AJ Styles versus Daniels. Everyone wants to see that match.
And out of all moves, that's very true. Everyone's looking forward to this match. Yes, there's other matches that were okay in the night, but this is the one to look out for. And AJ, I was hoping he finishes with a different move, but he finished with the corkscrew.
Yeah, that was the move I believe Mike Tenay said that he won his first TNA Exhibition Championship with. So it's kind of got a bit of symbolism there. The ending wasn't the best, but the match itself was slow at the beginning. It helped build. It told a great story. What more can you say about this match? It's not a 5-star match. I will not give it a 5-star match, but it was still a good match and a good way to end the pay-per-view. And they showed mutual respect for each other at the end, like me and NJ do, because we're such great friends and we have great in-ring chemistry together. But anyway, good match. Great way to end the pay-per-view, in my opinion. And shall we move? Do you have anything else to say? Would you like to give your overall thoughts?
Yeah, let's.
Yeah, let's. He has to find some way to get his little gimmick in this video, doesn't he? Anyway, NJ, your overall thoughts on this pay-per-view. I want to go to you first and give it a grade as well.
Matches kind of let it down because it's the pay-per-view that, as we said, we're both looking out for.
Yes.
Certain matches like that whole Sharp Boy thing that gives it. That's stupid. That British match again. Yes, we're British, but that match didn't do much for me. But the grade overall, because of the main events, the last probably 4 matches, I'm going to give it a solid B.
Yes, for me, this event, I don't want to give it an A because I save A for really good shows. I was really looking forward to this. I had high expectations for this. My expectations were fulfilled by a lot of the matches. There were some that let me down. I'm going to give this a B+. Maybe even A-. I think more B+, just because not all the matches were great. I really liked the main event. The 4-way match for the TNA contract, the Ultimate X match, Rob Van Dam versus Jerry Lynn. There was a lot of good matches there. There was a couple of bad matches there that didn't get too much build, but there was a lot of good matches there that had really good build. So in my opinion, you know, overriding the bad matches and looking at the good matches as well, this really does make a great pay-per-view. And let's just hope that TNA continue this momentum with their X division and really, focus on trying to make it the forefront of their a company again, which is what made them good back in the 2005-2006.
Because that brings us on to the question then, is where can they go from here?
Yes.
They've done a great pay-per-view. They've had a new champion. They've had Christopher Daniels and AJ Styles put on a great match. Where can they go from here?
Yes, this will be the main focus now. They put on a great pay-per-view, like NJ says, but the thing is now, we have to... This pay-per-view will determine... how this pay-per-view is done will determine, how well they do it's determined by how well they've done in the future, not now. Because this is one of the things they really need to work on their X division. And let's hope they do, because it's what made their company good. And it's what made me want to watch TNA. So let's hope they make it the forefront of their company again, because that's what I want to see when I watch TNA.
Hopefully, as Abyss has been beaten, I think now they can concentrate, because he was basically stopping the whole X division. Now he's not the champ, they can go forward.
Yes, anyway. Great pay-per-view. I can't say too much more about it. But shall we end it there, NJ?
Yeah, let's.
Yes, let's indeed. Make sure you guys keep subscribing up above, of course. Like the video. We want to hear your thoughts on the show. Give us your thoughts. We're always open to your views and opinions. Maybe you disagree with us in some parts, but make sure you put your comments down below, of course. We've been the British Fist.
NJ.
Great pay-per-view we just seen. And thank you very much, guys, for watching, of course. And goodbye.